Guys, the magic is in the work that you don't want to do. And you know what? Procrastination is such a human thing that we all do, but it's detrimental to where we want to go. I know that if you're watching this video, if you watch this type of spiritual content, you have a big purpose in life. Okay, your soul came here for a reason. And if you're sitting there on your phone and you're scrolling through Instagram and you're on TikTok all the time and you're watching one YouTube video after another, you're not fulfilling your purpose. There's a point where you have enough knowledge. Okay, I feel like we can get stuck in this feeling like you need to know everything kind of trap, right? Or a healing trap even, where you feel like you have to keep healing and keep digging up old wounds and keep, internally progressing, but you're not externally progressing. And I feel like a lot of us can use that as an excuse to not actually be taking the aligned action that we need to take in order to get to where we want to be. And the journey is hard. Not everything in life is all sunshine and roses, but the results that you want, you won't get until you actually put your phone down or put whatever excuse you have down and you start working. And that's a hard message to hear, but I feel like it's something that's so necessary, and I think a lot of us need like that fire to be lit under us again, in a loving, gentle way, but it's still necessary. I feel like we're in Leo season now, right? And there's a lot of stuff that's gone retrograde. There's a lot of planets that are kind of stirring stuff up. Maybe you might be feeling really heavy right now. You might have a lot of shadows coming up. But I feel like it's all for divine alignment right now. And this is the sign that the universe wants to give you to just keep going. Or even just to start. Maybe there's something you want to start. There's a business you want to get into. There's maybe your fitness journey that you need to get into. There's something that you've been putting off and procrastinating, and the universe is trying to give you this kick up your behind to get you moving. But the thing is, it's not always going to feel good. Not everything in life feels good. Like, say if you're starting a fitness journey and you haven't exercised in years, you're going to go to the gym and your muscles will be burning, your lungs will be screaming at you, your heart's going to be beating out of your chest, and it's not going to feel good. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to crawl through the ish that we don't want to crawl through in order to get the results that we want. And that's perfectly okay. Like, I know a lot of spiritual people online will say, oh, enjoy the journey, and the journey is the best part, and you have to fall in love with the process. And there's a time and a place for that. But a lot of the time, and especially when you're beginning something and you're starting very fresh and very new, it doesn't feel great. And falling in love with the journey and falling in love with the process is the hardest thing in the world, to the point where it's nearly impossible. And that's where you're procrastinating. Because you're trying to love this thing and pour positive, energy into this wonderful thing, supposedly, that you think that you're going to love doing, and you don't actually love doing it. And that's okay. It's okay to not always feel good all the time. It's okay to be doing something and having all these negative thoughts and feeling like it's something that's so impossible in front of you and being overwhelmed. Allow yourself to be overwhelmed, because that's part of the process. Allow yourself to feel like this thing is so difficult and so overwhelming and so nearly like it's placed above you on this pedestal, because that is part of the journey. Sometimes stuff is hard, and that's okay. But the magic is in the work that you're not willing to do. You don't always have to love the journey. You don't always have to love the process. But you're allowed to love the results. You're allowed to do something just because you want the result. If you're wanting to go to the gym and to have a fit body, that's okay. Allow yourself to want and desire that without actually loving being at the gym. I feel like this is the magic sauce that people don't talk about, because everyone wants to be all love and light all the time, and that's spiritual bypassing. We're living on earth as humans. There is duality. There is always duality. Okay, you can't live a completely love and light lifestyle all of the time. You can get as close as possible as you can to that. But the reality of living in a 3D earthly realm is not always that. And you have to embrace all sides of it. Embrace the hard work, embrace the difficulties, embrace not feeling great all the time, not wanting to work all the time, but getting up and doing it anyway, because you know that that's where all the magic is. You know that that's going to get you where you want to be. I feel like our brains can be kind of lazy sometimes. And I hate the word lazy because I feel like it's used so much in a negative connotation to insult other people, or even for us to insult ourselves with. So don't take it as that negative way, right? But just use it to be consciously aware of what it's like to be a human being. Because that's the reality. Our mind will give up before our body does. You know, and if I go back to the fitness example, you could be trying to do 10 pull-ups, right, on the bar. Your mind will tell you can only do 5, and you'll only do 5. Meanwhile, your muscles are actually strong enough to let you do 10, but your mind will get in the way. You know, if you want to sit down and practice your craft and practice, I don't know, whatever it is that you love doing, if you love painting, if you love drawing, if you love music or dancing, whatever it is, your mind will get in the way and break that focus and break your concentration. And you'll only end up doing it for half an hour instead of an hour, even though you're physically capable of doing it for an hour, because your mind hasn't been trained and focused. Sometimes you do need that discipline. You can't run away from it. Sometimes you do need a little bit of tough love, but not to the extreme where there's no love at all. Because it's like, I feel like you'll go one way or the other, where it's either you're all the way there 100% all of the time, or nothing. You can do something in a loving way and still not feel like there's 100% love there, because internally within you, you're looking at this thing in front of you thinking, oh, this is too hard, oh, I don't feel like I want to do this today. And like, that's so normal. Nobody wants to get up and go to a 9-to-5 job every single day, but you do it anyway because you know that you need money, right? That's a huge example. You know you need to pay your bills, but you'd rather be at home in bed rather than getting up and getting in your car and driving to wherever you need to be. But you do it anyway because you know you need that money to be able to survive. But the thing is, you'll give yourself that discipline to get up and go to that 9-to-5 job because you're doing it for somebody else. Somebody else is holding you accountable. How come you can do it for somebody else but you can't do it for yourself when you're working on your own projects? You need to give yourself just as much respect as you'd give to a boss at a job. The earthly plane will always be full of duality, and you just have to take it as it comes. If you know you want to be an incredible artist, you have to get up and practice your craft every single day. If you want to learn a language, you have to get up and learn that language every single day. You have to actively be taking steps and moving levers to move that needle further and further and further towards where you want to go. Because nobody can do that for you. Time is going to pass anyway. You're going to be another year older anyway. But you get to decide whether you're going to be different next year this time, or whether you're going to be in exactly the same space that you always were. There's this thing that they say where the time that you allocate to do something is the time that it takes to do that thing. If you're sitting an exam, right, and you're given all the material to study, and you're told that you have 1 week to study for that exam, it'll more than likely take you that full week to study for the exam. You might put it off, you might procrastinate, but you'll get there, right? If you're told you have 1 day to study for that exam, I can guarantee you'll be so hyper-focused if you wanted to do well. You'll be so hyper-focused on that one exam piece, and you'll learn just as much in that 1 day as you would in 1 week. And you'd still be able to pass your exam. I feel like a lot of you need to set deadlines and set goals and start writing everything down. When you write it down, you're so much more likely to achieve the thing that you want to achieve. And I know this is a bit of a tough love message, and it's probably not the easiest pill to swallow, but I feel like this is what you need to light a fire underneath you. The universe wants you to get up and to actually start moving towards your goals, because it will support you. The universe is there waiting for you to jump so it can give you that helping hand. It'll meet you halfway. The universe will meet you halfway, but you have to show the universe that you're actually ready and willing to be able to take that chance. I feel like so many people stop right before they hit the goal. You might do something for 3 weeks or a month or 2 months and then just fall away and think, okay, well, I didn't get the result that I wanted, and it's 2 months later, and I'm looking around and there's there's no results. Things that are worth anything in life take more time, and it takes a little bit more stamina in order for you to attain this thing that you want to attain. If it's something that's actually worthwhile and it's something that's actually valuable to you, it's going to take that little bit longer. Look at something like buying a house. Do you know how long it takes? If anyone here has already bought a house, you know how long it takes to get the mortgages, to have people come and look at the house and see if it's structurally sound, and do all of the things, filling out the paperwork, waiting for the key. Like, it takes a really long time, but it's worth it because you get something so valuable at the end of the day. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Especially if you're working in a competitive field. I feel like a lot of your so-called competition will fall away before they've even started. And that already puts you ahead. If you're in that mindset where you're determined and you're ready and you're willing to put in that work, you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. But you have to put in that work. You have to start. You have to do the things that you don't want to do, and it's going to not feel very good, especially to start off with. And that's okay. It's okay for you to allow yourself to not enjoy the process. It's okay for you to allow yourself to not enjoy the journey, because there will be parts of the journey that you will enjoy. But I feel like in order for you to take that first step, you have to be ready and willing to sacrifice just a little bit. And I'm not telling you to sacrifice as in your well-being, but I'm talking about maybe your creature comforts. Maybe you have to wake up half an hour earlier to work on that business you want to work on before you go to your 9-to-5 job. Maybe you have to push yourself to get into the gym and actually be motivated to pick up the weights or to run on the treadmill. Maybe you need that extra little bit of motivation to get you going. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever it is that this lifestyle you're trying to work towards, give yourself the privilege of working towards it. Stop holding yourself back just because you don't want to feel uncomfortable. And it's a hard message to learn, and this is something people don't talk about because it's not all fancy. It doesn't sound great. It's not a great thing to have to hear, and I feel like that's why it doesn't get talked about. But I feel like every person that's being successful in life has paid their dues in a way. I feel like that's a good way to say it, right? They've done the things that they needed to do to get them where they want to be. It's not all rainbows and sunshine all the time. But everyone wants to talk about rainbows and sunshine because that's what sells. That's what makes money. That's what gets people going. But the real motivation comes from internally within you. It comes from that grit. And you have that strength. You have that power. You just have to allow yourself that. Give yourself the permission. Give yourself the love. Give yourself the life that you want to live. I hope this message motivated you a little bit. I hope it helped just kind of put things in perspective a little bit. I hope that you actually get up and start working towards your goals and your dreams and your desires, and put in that work that you know that you can achieve. Guys, I love you so much. And I hope that you just have the most beautiful life. I love you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.